House of the Dragon Episode 2 Theories and Predictions Explained. With the first episode of Season 1 being released and it not only taking us on a trip of familiarity, but also setting up the world that we know in a completely different way, I thought I'd take a look at all that's out there and give my theories and predictions for what I think is going to happen in Episode 2 of the show. So let's get into it. Here is House of the Dragon Episode 2 Theories and Predictions Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The first episode finished off with Princess Rhaenyra being sworn in as the heir to the Iron Throne if anything were to happen to her father King Viserys I. In this first episode, we saw that King Viserys had a wound on his back that was refusing to heal, and was told to keep it under wraps. At first, it could well be grayscale, a relatively known disease that is transmitted through touch, and with this being prior to the time period that we're used to, despite it being common and well known in the world that Shireen was in, there may not have been as much information about it in the time period that we're in. I also say this because in the trailer that we got today, it looked as though grayscale was present on the individual. I'm not 100% sure if it is King Viserys, but it could well be. Regardless of what the disease actually is, I think we'll see the king's health be a discussion point and a slow deterioration will occur. We saw he cut himself on the throne, a small cut, yet it was continuously bleeding, so something is definitely up with him. I say a slow deterioration as well because we've seen in trailers for later on down the line that there are points where he's in conflict, so I don't think his death will be abrupt. I think we could potentially see a time jump next week as well. It seems as though there are going to be elements of a young Rhaenyra and also one when she's older, maybe even after her father had passed away. We saw Otto Hightower, the current hand to the king, push his daughter Alicent in the direction of King Viserys following the death of his wife and newborn child. We know that Alicent does go on to marry King Viserys, so I think we will also see the seed getting sown more and more about how their relationship is going to come to be in next week's episode. Otto has a plan. One that we don't necessarily know the ins and outs of just yet, but it looks as though it's going to be successful as Alicent will go on to be sitting alongside King Viserys, which will ultimately remove both Rhaenyra and Daemon out of the line, despite the fact that she was sworn in at the end of episode 1. I think we could also start to see the beginning of the rift between the two best friends, Rhaenyra and Alicent, due to her starting to get involved with her father. Daemon was banished to Runestone in episode 1, where at first I wasn't sure if he was going to go due to his rebellious nature, but after seeing clips in a trailer, it makes me think that he may well have gone in that direction. I believe Rhaenyra will look to seek the aid of her uncle following the developing relationship between Alicent and her father, and she'll go on to reveal all that she knows about Otto's wider plan, where we'll then see them head back to King's Landing with the intention of confronting them. The episode is titled The Rogue Prince, which makes me think that it could be an episode that focuses heavily on Daemon. We got a lot of Rhaenyra in the first episode, so understanding more about Daemon and why he is the way that he is would be a good way of being able to learn more. He is relatively rogue in his behaviour, so even if we don't learn that much about his past, I think we'll see him go rogue in the sense that maybe he goes against his family. I think we'll also see more of Rhaenys Targaryen, named the Queen That Never Was. She's cousin to King Viserys, and we've seen on 2 occasions in the same setting them both look at each other in the exact same way. It looks as though there's something that runs deeper than what we've explored yet. In a trailer later on down the line, we heard the words being spoken, "Men would rather put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne." I believe this will tie into her previous experience of being overlooked as an heir to the throne, despite being the next in line on multiple occasions once her father had died. I feel Rhaenyra will also have an ally in her for certain, and will be comforting her despite the fact that there's going to be uproar with Rhaenyra being sworn in. A Song of Ice and Fire was something that was told to Rhaenyra in the closing moments of the first episode, along with the secret nature that it had. We don't know if she's necessarily the type of person to speak a lot about something, but with her close relationship to Alicent, she may well inform her the secret told by her father, which could then be fed to Otto, who seems like he has a plan at hand and it could be valuable information. Conflict is something that's going to be slowly forming, and a civil war is on the cards for certain. Rhaenyra and Daemon versus Alicent and Otto, and maybe her father if he survives that long. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in episode 2 of the show. Despite the fact we've only had 1 episode, there's a lot that's been set up, and this is only the beginning. So, there you have it. House of the Dragon Episode 2 Theories and Predictions Explained. If you want to see more videos on House of the Dragon, such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you want to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen next? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.